Everyone. I'm so glad for you guys joining us today. Good morning to the ones in the US, or because every state has different time zones, but good morning for those that is morning, good afternoon for those that is afternoon, and good evening for those that is evening. And today, I'm so glad to be hosting the one and only Omuntu Wawansi,
Mm-hmm.
Kyamagero Andrew,
Live.
the um, the award-winning news anchor and TV journalist. He's a corporate event host. Is so many things, and he'll tell us more about that once I start interviewing him. But I want to talk about what engage, inspire, and empower is first. It's the way it started. Its mission is to inspire immigrants to help them get into the system, the American system, especially those that have just moved to the US, get into the education system and the work system. So that's the main purpose of Engage, Inspire, and Empower. And let's start now with Mr. Chamagero.
Mm.
Hi, Mr. Mutwawansi.
Good. Good morning to those in the US, of course. Good
Mhm.
afternoon, those watching in countries where it's afternoon today. And good evening to those in countries that is evening or it's late at night. My name is Andrew Kyamagero, and for record purposes, I will take off my mask that you know that it's me. I'm not masquerading in any way. Uh, I will have my mask put on because COVID is real in the country where I am. We have registered now around 1,000 plus days. So I'll keep my mask on. I need to stay safe. So, Doreen, I'm all yours.
All right. I was saying, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who Mr. Chamagero is, where you were born, and how you came about identifying as Mr. Wawan, as Omuntu Wawansi?
Okay, for starters, my name is Andrew Kyamagero. I think this is a better view.
That's a beautiful view.
My name is Andrew Kyamagero. Omuntu Awensi, if I can put it in another person's language, it means the layman or the common person or you know, the usual person. I come from a family of 7 children, and I'm the last born, and I'm the only boy, explaining why I am Kyamagero. So
Oh,
my dad was taking the shot. I was the perfect last shot. Listen, all last bonds are the perfect shots. The others are prototypes. They're still trying. They're still trying. They're still trying. So the last bonds, I think they're the final cut. Perfect match.
I can relate. Yes.
So when it gets to Omuntua, when as a journalist, I've traversed the country and the region, and I've realized there is a lot more that happens with the layman that is never amplified, that is never, taken seriously. And all the artists and the journalists we have in our country, they seem to bend low to the system. Okay, I'm just going to take off this because where I am, there are no people, so that I'm audible enough.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay.
Dear.
Can you hear me, Doreen?
Yes, that sounds really good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, so the more I traveled around the country and the more I went around the region, I came to realize that the layman, no one cares about them. No one cares about their plight. No one amplifies their plight, and they're castigated in one way or the other when things go wrong. And that's when I chose to say, I'm going to take this direction. I'm going to focus and put my energies and my career on the deck for this particular cluster, for the layman. So my job is to amplify their stories. My job is to find solutions among them and amplify those solutions to powers that be. My job is to ask tough questions which they cannot ask and to get them answers, or to take the powers that be closer to them that they can audit, they can probe, they can ask for accountability. So that's how Omontwawensi came to life. And that's what I live for every day. So whenever I wake up, I first think of if Omontwawensi is in this kind of situation, how best can I help? What could be the possible solution? What who do I need to talk to? So I am that guy who will wake up in the middle of the night and drive my car and head out to a community that has had an inferno that is so heavy. I need to know how are they holding up? What was the cause? Who
Mhm.
is accountable to the last person? I want to
Yeah,
achieve when that comes to life. So that is Omontwawensi. I'm a
the
journalist,
crazy,
but
the crazy thing about the Montwansi part is I've heard it for a while, like
mm,
seen people talking about it, seen people wearing shirts with it, and had
but
no clue where it's headed from. I just figured, you know how you gonna come up with different slangs and for like every situation. So I figured something happened, and then that came up. But it's very interesting and surprising, and good to know where it came from because it has a deeper meaning and than just a slang.
well, just to take you a little further, this is not something that is just for a day or just for this. But again, I took it a notch further to do more research about this, and that's where we have the Omontwawensi initiative. Now, in life, where you are, Doreen and any other person on this broadcast today, possibly the people who have really done a remarkable job to make sure that you are where you are. Someone had to hold the door for you. Someone had to make a call for you. Someone had to send an email that, hey, it's Doreen coming. So, just do it for me that Doreen could possibly go through. So I went ahead and registered this initiative of Omontwawensi. The idea is to help at least four people. So each Omontwawensi that relates with me, I tell them, can you just help out just four people within your space? You don't need to give them money. At times it's entirely about communication, it's about information, it's about context. Can you just do that for me? Can you just connect these people that you can just send that elevator down? So once you do that, you don't need Andrew Kyamagero to be with you. You're the right person for Omontwawensi to thrive. You're the right person to make sure that this person's storyline changes. We, as Abantu, the reason why we drag and we don't move and we don't shift in our life cycles because we don't have the right information. We make uninformed decisions. We wail a lot. We lament a lot. We never ask for answers. Now, my job as a leader in that caliber is to reignite the fire within these people, is to remind them that, look, we're not going to be in every corner of this country, but you, anyone who subscribes to this kind of school of thought, start with your family members, scale it to your community, scale it to the parish level, send it to the sub-county level, and on the national level, we can find lasting solutions. So it starts with every other person, and I challenge anyone who is on this platform to start to just try it, just try our approach. Find four people within your circles. It could be your uncle, it could be your auntie, whoever it is. Reach out to them, tell them the right information they need. If you feel that they need some financial support, don't give them money for eating. No, ask them a question. What opportunity do you think I have you can plug into? Or what business model do you want to try out? So you do the digging of the information they need, you share it with them, and you don't give them the whole sum to set up that business, but rather you give them half of that payment of that money plus the information they need and you see how far they can thrive. So I go get money go to our
That's funny thing is that that's what I keep telling people because I worked in Tanzania as a volunteer with Peace Corps for 2 years, and I was set up in a village, and my role was to get into the community, figure out the issues they have, and then come up with a long term solution. And most people think long-term solution means giving them money. The money is gonna get done, then gonna just use it on useless things, and then the next day it's all gone. Then what? You know. So with that, it's a very very smart way to think about helping people than just handing them money because at the end of the day they're gonna come back asking for money again, and
you
then
don't give
every
them money. Yeah. Just get the ideas, scale them up, make sure that they run these very ideas. Let them feel proud of what they have become over time. Let them feel proud
achievement.
when the business is thriving. So that is the motto I want to say for you, my dear.
All right. So tell us about where you were born, what schools you attended. Tell us a little bit more about your family.
Well, I'm born in Chiwatule, Mchinda, a Kampala suburb. That's where I've lived my entire life, and that's where I'm staying up to today. um, but my village is Namurugwe, Mukono, Chagwe. If I should go into the sub-county, it's in Chagwe. But that's where I'm born. I went to Holmesdale in primary school, and while in school, I was a little chaotic. So I led a strike, and they had to, send me to another branch of Holmesdale in Chirinya. Still, I led a strike there in P7. So I did my P7 from home. I used to come from home to go to P7. Why? Because I just don't keep quiet so easily. So if I find things that are not right, I will speak. I will stand up. I don't care. I will still speak. And in my secondary level, I went to Muiri College School. It's in the east of this country.
I went to
And
the
I
East too in secondary school.
in Ginger. I was there for only one term and I left the college because there were some behaviors that I didn't like, that I didn't subscribe to. I told my dad I need to move. And from there, I went to St. John's, that is in Voyagerere. That's where I did my senior four. And for my senior six, for my senior six, I went to Bethel Covenant College, that is in Entebbe. And yeah, after that, I went to the UK. My dad wanted me to be a pastor, so I came to the UK at Jaham. I studied theology. And after 4 years, I came back to Uganda and sponsored myself journalism because that's what I want.
So you went all the way to the UK for how many years?
Oh,
And then after that, you're like, you know what? Here's your degree. I'm done. Now it's time
one
to be
part,
me.
they could not listen. African fathers, and it's something I'm trying to fight with my kids. I don't want
Yeah.
to put what I want to impact it on them. I want them to do them. So he really wanted me to do theology, and I told him, well, I'm going to do it for you because I'm a law-abiding citizen and a God-fearing man. I did it for him, and I gave it to him, and I came back here, and I did journalism, and I'm now pursuing my master's in broadcasting and mass communication.
The interesting is that most African parents do that. They tell you what they want you to be. They're like, no, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a
Well,
lawyer. It's not about your passion. It's about what
you know
they
where it
want.
comes from? They feel they didn't fulfill some things in their life, so they want to extend their lives through us, the children. Now that can happen with me. That failed. He failed. He failed on that.
Like when I was just starting out, when I just moved to the US, my mom was like, because when you just I moved on at 16, so I was still a little bit young, and so I had time to figure out what I wanted. But my mom was giving me ideas of, oh, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer. I'm like, yeah,
Mm,
we'll see.
mm.
But then
And
I took
now,
it to a different route. Nothing like doctor or lawyer. No.
mm, you do
But
you. It's better.
yeah, because at the end of the day, you have to do what makes you happy. Something you look forward to waking up to, not something you dread every day that feels like work.
Very much.
Yeah. All right. So tell us more about your job. How did you? What was your first job as a journalist? How did you get your foot into the door?
Ah, so my first job, this is really funny though. So I went to a radio station, all radio stations in Kampala. I was asking for a job, and none of them could give me a job. They kept asking for something. What's your experience? What are your papers? I said, what's wrong with you guys? I'm talented. I can talk.
Mhm.
But they could not listen. They said, what's your experience? So what I did, I went on the internet in an internet cafe. I searched for radio stations. I got a radio station called WA FM. It's in Lira, in the West Nile of this country. I called them, and it's owned by a white guy. He said, please get on the bus in the morning. Now I had to travel from the central of Uganda to go to the other side. It was very, peculiar in a way, but I was determined to do this. But around 2 p.m., I went back to the cafe and I researched about radio stations that are possibly in the central, where I won't get a lot of language barrier a lot, and that's why I found the best FM. Now this radio station It's in the south of this country. I talked to my friend. There is a friend of mine called Maureen. Maureen was my friend, but very stubborn. So I told Maureen, I have a dream. I want to be a journalist and I'm going to be one. Maureen said, you know what? All I can give you is transport because I didn't have transport. So
Yeah.
Maureen gave me 20K and the transport then was 6,000 Ugandan shillings. So I had transport to and back and some for lunch. So, on the route, you
Commando
know,
Rolex.
that drawbacks and stuff like that. So I went, I took the fast bus in the morning and I was in Masaka by 8 in the morning. So I go to this station and I tell him I want to see the program's director. They tell me, oh, he's very busy. I'm like, well, I wait. I stood outside and he was the one doing the morning show. And when it came to 10, he came out. He had one earpiece in his ear. He was called, and he's still called Herbert Kabanda. So I tell him, I'm here to get a job. He said, what's your name, young man? I said, my name is Andrew Kyamagero. He said, oh, you're confident? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, what's up? I'm like, oh, I want a job. He said, did you do journalism? I said, no, but I'm here. I want a job. He said, well, let me come talk to you. This guy left me at the reception. He went to his home in Kako. He had some poultry side business. He went to attend to his poultry. He came back at 3 p.m. I was still sitting at the reception.
Still there.
And when he came back, he said, hey, Ochariwo, in my language. That means, are you still here? I'm like, yes, I am still here.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, go to production, let's do a demo and we see what's up. So I went to the production. There was a very good guy, may he rest in peace, was called Chris Lukanga. So Lukanga said, let's do the demo. I did the demo, but I was super fast. My English was very heavy because I was just from the UK, 4 years. I used to mate instead of fellow, folks.
In the,
Yes,
yeah. In,
you know. So it was complex for them. And there was a guy, he's called Mr. Katende Alex Viligua. So he came down. I don't know what he was looking for, but he was the executive director. So he phoned me in the booth and he said, what is he doing? He said, play it for me. They played it for him. He said, are you for real? I said, yes, that's me. He said, do you want to work in Masaka? Do you know anyone in Masaka? I said, I don't know anyone here. He said, well, I think you have a job. But first you're going to get your training. I said, you don't play with me. Come on, be serious. He said, no, you have a
yeah.
job. But you're going first to have a training that's going to take you like a month or something like both. I'm okay. As long as you get me, I'm going to sleep. That's fine with me. Keep in mind, I'd just gone to look for jobs. I'd not gone with my suitcase of things like, a towel, a toothbrush, and all that. So
Mhm.
I told him, look, you've given me a job, but me, I've come for, just to apply. As you know, Uganda, I apply, I go back
Yeah.
home.
You go back, you never hear back.
Okay, so I said, you're so UG, that's the thing. So I tell him, look, I don't have anything on me, and it's a little bit challenging. He said, don't worry. So this guy gave me, he said to the accountant, give Andrew 60,000 Ugandan shillings every day. And he went to a guest house called Vienna Guest House. He booked for me a room. He said the company will pay. So with this 60,000, I said, can I get the one for today because I'm here? So they gave me the
Because
60K. Off I went to the supermarket. I bought some toothbrush and toothpaste. I bought some, pants, black and navy blue, and they're my favorite colors because no one can know that that's the pants you were wearing
the same.
yesterday.
No, no one can. Yeah.
So I got black and navy blue and some good shirts, and boom, I went to my room. And in a week's time, I started to train. I got to know the dynamics, how it works, but I was reading a lot online. Long story short, after 2 weeks, I was given a job, and my first show in life was an evening show, an evening drive show. But I was super fast. I was excited. I was like, this is my calling. So some people could not understand. My accent was heavy, but they kept saying, this is fun. So I kept adjusting slowly by slowly. And 2 months into this gig, I started to save my money to go and start to study journalism in a university that had correspondence to that side, and that's Kampala University. So I used to jump out of studio, head out to class. Then from class, back to studio. And yeah, they're paying me some good money to bring it closer to Ugandan shillings. they're giving me around $90 per month. So I
That's
started,
good for his
yeah,
first
good
job.
money. Yeah, I was like, let's get this working. But while I was there, oh, I'm Jack there. While I was there, I made sure that I had a timeline for this. So I said I'm going to do this in this region for only 3 years, and after 3 years I'll resign. And indeed, after 3 years I resigned. I came back to Kampala, and I'd created a web of renowned journalists um, in the city center who knew me by now because whenever you come to the south, they say, look for Andy Kyamagero. If you go there, if that guy knows you, you covered.
The one with the accent.
I had the rapport with him. He could somehow talk to me. So slowly, by and large, I adjusted and liked it to be fun. I came back to Kampala. I went to some radio stations. One of it was Spirit FM. It was a Christian station. It was boring because it had censures. You wouldn't speak some things. Yes, I believe in God, but I'm a youth. So how do I say I like the kind of vibe in a Christian way? It was, and these guys are very conservative with regard to the way they take up Christianity. So I chose to say, you know what? I'm just going to resign. So I resigned from that station. And I was a presenter then, and I went to XFM. It was youthful, but it was so teenager like from my perspective. I
Yeah.
didn't like that because it wouldn't give me the grief of what I wanted to expand into. So I got bored and just then I'm just going to be a news anchor at radio station. So I went to a radio station called Touch FM. I applied. They gave me the job. I was a news anchor there for 4 years, and it was fun for me. But then a friend of mine told me, "Oh, we're setting up a radio station." I said, "Are you for real?" It's called Galaxy FM. I said, "Uh huh." I listened to the speakers. Their production was good, and they called me. My friend Marriott called me, said, "Andrew, you're a very funny guy. Come, we'll be on radio." Now this time, I had to speak Luganda, not English. Totally Luganda. I'm like, bring it on. Boom! I went in, Galaxy FM, Zina. We started, and our morning show for consecutive 3 years, it was one of the leading radio shows in the metropolitan. Even today, by the way, those guys are good guys. I really miss them. And at Galaxy FM, I was there for 3 years, and NTV gave me a call to go and do a morning show with Flavia Msime. Why I was called because I would understand Omuntu Awensi. My energy and my everything flows with Omuntu Awensi. So they said you need someone who connects to this audience that is, either not appreciated or unsegmented within our programming. And there I am. So I go on, we start to do the morning show and things are moving on. And then one time, my boss today, he just had
Yeah.
me hand over to a colleague who was in the studio, said, what? Can you do news? I'm like, I applied these 4 years ago and they told me
Yeah.
what I couldn't do. I'm here. And she
Yeah.
said, give it. I said, well, when do you want it? She said, can you do it now? I said, put on the cameras. So they put on the cameras. I gave them a demo. They said, that's it. Boom. Here I am up to today.
Wow. It's
Mm.
let's go back a little bit. So what was your dad's reaction to all this? Him not wanting you to pursue this, like how did you feel about all this?
Well, he felt betrayed. And up to today, I'll tell you, my dad has never watched me on TV do what I do. He chose that path, and I respect that path. I chose me.
Um,
so, so he's even when they tell him, "Oh, your son today grilled this minister, grilled this politician," he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah."
um, I
Hmm.
have um I have a question, a sensitive question. So with what of like with everything going on in Uganda, how do you feel about the whole media not being allowed to put this out there for people to see? What is your view on that? We can just touch that on that a little bit.
Well, I was arrested this week on Wednesday. I was in prison, and I came out on Thursday morning. Why? Because I went on the ground and I wanted to broadcast whatever was happening live on our TV set. And I wasn't beaten, but this is the situation. I will tell you what is happening. Journalists are held between a hard rock and a hard place. The opposition, the strongest now, that is NUP, they feel everything you do should be about them. Everything you do. And on the flip side, the government says you're going to do whatever you're going to do, but you need to stay safe. So there is another challenge there. So you don't know who to please. So what we have chosen to do is to do us, to do the profession and what it calls for us, but there is no story worth our lives. So where it is heavily loaded with tear gas and bullets and so on, because that's a juxtaposition. Let me tell you the real. You're trying to cover some people, but their supporters are throwing clams and stones. They're hitting the police, and the police and the military they're shooting tear gas and bullets. So you die in that mix. You're not so sure who killed you. Was it the opposition?
Yeah.
Was it the government? So
Mm-hmm.
you draw the line. You say, well, my camera can zoom that. I'm going to be on this side.
On the side. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's move forward. It's good to know. So my other question is, with you being in the spotlight and being active on social media, how has that affected your personal life?
It hasn't affected my personal life in any way. I am one of those news anchors you'll find jazzing with other guys about, any topic on the street.
Yeah.
I walk on the streets around my hood and I have mates with these chaps and they tell me what they feel like because that's what I thrive on. That's my energy. I go get money go on to and see.
Wow, and see, yes.
That strong online and being on TV, it does not deprive me of who I am. I have chosen to say who I am. I always tell my people that TV is just a media God has given me to reach out to you, but I am as good as you. Actually, you're far better than I am. If you can just tap into your innermost frame, reactivate it, see through your vision, the mission, the plans you have, you're far better than I am. The only thing I have is that I have a TV. I have, where they tell me action or you're live, but you're
Yeah.
far better than I am. So nothing has changed on my side.
Yeah. Funny thing, funny story is like, so when I heard that I was interviewing you, I was like, I've heard of Andrew Kyamagero, but I'm not sure who he is. So on the day that I found out, I'm on Facebook, and then boom, one of my friends posts you, "Oh, happy birthday, my friend Kyamagero." I'm like, wait, Vince, Andrew is your best friend. I'm like, hold up,
Hmm.
the world is telling me something. So I asked him about you, and he's like, "Oh no, I've known him for like over 10 years. That's my brother." I'm like, now I know who
Hmm.
to ask questions about, and like about Kyamagero and everything. And also, the first time I heard about you actually was when I think I was in Uganda. My friends were going to this wedding, and they were all
Hmm.
dressing up as Romans. I'm like, wait, are you going to a Halloween party? Are you going to a wedding?
Come on.
So tell me more about what inspired you to make your wedding into a theme, like a Roman theme kind of wedding.
Well, no more bowers me. And in Uganda, weddings have the same format. Today, where I am, I'm going to host a wedding of the vice president's daughter. But there's a same. I chose something that was unique. But why it was unique, I love Romans. Romans are gladiators. Whatever they did, they made sure they win. Strategy was key, execution was paramount. But above all, the prayer to their God was something that was central to them. Now, me, I'm a Christian. If I'm praying to God and I believe in Jesus Christ as my personal savior, so if I believe that God is going to help me thrive like this, I need to draw my inspiration from people who were gladiators. When they went to battle, they went for gold and blood. There was no second thought about it. So the
Mhm.
way I perceive life and whatever I do in life, I go all in. Nothing could better bring me closer to that inspiration than the Romans. And my wife equally loves the Roman goddess of prosperity and of wealth. She loved it because the more she read about it, it was like these are practical principles if we can, implement them in our lives and
Yeah.
things. So those are things that drew us closer to it. And we said, you know what? We're gonna have a Roman wedding.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Um, I love Roman movies, and I've never thought about, like, I love how they always have that there's an underdog that always comes on top later on.
Oh yeah.
And I've never thought about it in that way. But after you talking about it, because usually there's a god, there's a goddess, there's all these like people that strive to like get to the top, and they work. They're not given, like they're not handed things. They work
Yes.
to
Right.
get where they are.
Mm.
So To add on to that, tell me about how you met your wife, how
Oh,
you decided to
oh.
name your son Mandela, and tell me about this Pan Africanism part of you.
Well, I met my wife in Angola. I had gone as a journalist to cover the event, so I saw her giving a presentation about oil in Africa and what we need to do best to, sustainably use this mineral, not as a curse, but as a blessing. She had technical approaches, and I was impressed. Naturally, I'm such a sexist. I looked at her. She was black, tall, curvaceous, and she had all these brains. I said, "Oh Lord, I better have some of these genes with me." And I walked up to her after her presentation and they said, "How are you?" She said, "I'm fine." I said, "Oh, my name is Ghana." She said, "I know." And I said, "I'm Uganda." She said, "I know." I said, "I like the presentation." She said, "Thank you. But can we talk?" She said, "A little like that. I'm a little busy." I'm like, okay, maybe it's a little queer, but I'll tell you this. You'll be my wife." She looked at me. She said,
Just like that.
"Calm down. Yeah. Let me tell you, that's one thing people don't realize about Romans. If they want something, they'll mention it. What you proclaim is what comes to you. What you think about comes to you directly from.
Manifesting, yes,
So
manifesting.
me, I told her, day one, babe, you're going to be my wife. She said, "Ooh, come on." You know, as a journalist, 10 years ago, I was a skinny guy. Journalism in Uganda by then wasn't paying me that enough. But I saw her and I said, that has to be my wife. So later in the evening, I talked to her and I told her, "Look, I may not have a lot, but if you believe in me, if you just give me a chance, I'll make it happen." She said, "Are you sure?" I said, "I'm sure." She gave me the number. So she stayed in Angola for 6 months, but we kept corresponding. And she told me, "I'll tell you when I'm coming back." But as soon as I come back, she go meet my parents. I said, "Anytime, baby, anytime." She called me when she was at Hawaii Caribbean, even done checking in. After 6 months, she says, "I'm at Hawaii Caribbean." I'm like, who?" I said, "This is Link." I'm like, "Oh, good." So I had to call my sisters. I tell them, "Mumani, we're going to visit this girl's family. She's back. It's Tuesday. Can we organize something? I want to marry her." My sisters were very excited to meet her. They said, "Can we just first meet her and then we can take it from there to understand if we're going to do this or not?" So uh, she was like, "Guys, you're coming too." So I went to her parents, and the daddy is a lawyer and the mother is a teacher. So I told them, "This is me." And the father was worried, said, "Journalists, you don't stand on their words. You travel a lot. You have so many access to very many women from here as far as Timbuktu and back. How do we trust?" They said, "I'll give you my word." And boom, they agreed. And but she had a catch to this. She said, "If you can't stay with me for 10 years, we can get married." So I had to be me for 10 years. But you can't pretend for 2 years. You can't pretend for 8 years. You can't pretend for 10 years. The you will come out. So
Well,
she said, "If we make it 10 years as lovers and we're staying together, then we can have a wedding." And that it happened last year. And so that's my beautiful wife. Our son is called Mandela. I took a course in South Africa in political science at the ANC Academy. And I realized how much Mandela loved his nation, what sacrifices he made. And in my country where I am, I said, well, if I cannot move this, I better get a kid who is always going to read about why he was named Mandela, what Mandela did. Something will drive in that direction, and he will know when to redeem this nation if I fail in my line of duty. And I have a beautiful daughter called Zaza Jacqueline Kyamagero. So me, I'm done with the babies. I have two. I have a girl and a boy,
and a
and I'm
boy.
done. I'm
Really?
done. Oh no.
You're done? You don't want like two more? No?
I want only two kids, and I can give them the best of my life. My emotional capital can be invested in them. But not only that, I don't want my wife to just be giving back every now and again. She needs to take a break. After these two are done, can we focus on us? We had dreams and aspirations before they came in place. Now that we're done with them, when they're done with their education, can now we travel around the world the way we wanted before they came in place? So that's my approach to life.
Yeah. Um, to add on to that, I mean, furthermore about the question, how do your kids look at you? Like, do they see or do they watch you on TV like, oh, daddy, I watched you, or they're like, he's just a regular, he's just daddy, there's nothing like more to it.
Guys, and now it's a little bit expensive for me because now I have to buy him jackets every other day because he wants to look like Daddy on TV. He wants to speak a lot more English than, and he just started his English classes, I think, last month. But all along, he's now making 5 years. I've been talking to him in my native. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear. You're back now. Yeah.
Okay. So he understands that we are Baganda, we are Africans, we believe in this, we work for this, we work for this in the different spectrums. So he respects that. He knows what daddy stands for. He knows what we stand for as a family. So the principles of working hard, respecting women, those are virtues that I've tried to inculcate in him that he understands and appreciates them every other day.
I'm glad you mentioned that last part of respecting women. I feel like society focuses so much on women respecting men and how you're supposed to treat your husband, how you're supposed to do this for your husband, and they forget that it takes two to tango, and they don't groom the men for marriage or for dating, and so they feel like women are just at their feet, disposable, no respect. There's this thing that they say there's more women than men. So for some, I have a lot to choose from. So what inspired you, or what impacted you in a way? Was it because you grew up with only sisters that you learned how to respect women, or how did that come about?
Well, those are two things. One, my growing up with my sister is partly the reason why I actually respect women to the core. But the other biggest thing that actually helped me to cultivate these, to demand for these, I've seen women suffer after men die in Africa. I have seen family members come up and take up property because the man didn't give them enough support that is needed. The support that is wanted by this wife was never given from the word go. So I come from the school of thought: if I don't empower my son to respect my wife, he won't respect any woman on earth. And when I'm old and I can't do anything, he won't stand for what he believes in, because he will be taken up by events, and that's going to affect us. So I don't want that to happen. So I decide to do it now. Where I'm headed, they've told me to put back my map, so you're going to bear with me. Just a minute, just a minute. So you can still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So it is something that I love to instill in him, that he can understand it, that he can appreciate it, that he can believe in it. But not only that, that he can stand firm and defend the woman at one time. So that is something that drives my mantra towards the women on a daily basis. And the other flip to it is family members in Africa are weird. I don't know where you are on that side, but back here it's a little crazy. When you are alive, they will treat you with all the lovely God knows what. But once you pass on, they'll just treat your family like that. So I don't want that to happen with my son, with my wife. I I don't want that to happen to my wife. So what I do, I make sure that I empower my son strong enough that he can stand when the time comes, and he can defend what the God believes in. Not only that, he can be in position to say, look, as a family, these are our values. Before daddy passed on, this is what he said. So I'm going to live by that. No one is going to challenge us. My mother says this, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's my vibe.
There's similar expressions here too, where when a father or mother passes on, usually it's the children that actually kick out the parents out of the house and take them to like nursing homes so they can take over everything. So I think is because the parents don't teach them.
I dare him to try that.
So
Come back home and
you,
I promise you that. That can happen. That
yeah,
can happen. No matter
they
what, it
take
can happen.
everything. Because most of, and it happens like rich families. I feel like parents are so concentrated on making money, they forget to install that love and respect in the children. And when one of them dies, the other one has to pay for that.
Well, I'll be very honest with you. This comes from the fathers. For the fathers, I think we should all understand, all parents out there, we should all understand that it's our job to tell these kids what we are, what we believe in, because it's these values they have that help them to actually execute when we are away, when we are no more, when we can't be here anymore. So if you can't put that here today, they won't respect it later. And you see the sense of oh god, the sense of responsibility geared to these kids. Okay, I'm trying to find a good positioning. Oh lord. Uh-huh.
That's true.
Is that better? Yeah. Let me tell you what. So where I am, I came a little earlier and I left. I came with a different pair of shoes, but my wife said it was the wrong shoe, so she had to send me the other pair.
Oh, that's nice.
Um. So it's up to the parents. The parents, you must empower your daughters and sons to stand tall and defend what you believe in, to
Mhm.
stand against the odds of the world, to stand against your brothers and sisters, because those are the relatives that mess up everything when you're gone. So
Yes.
you don't want that to happen to you when you're gone. So what do? You make sure you train this person. You give him that kind of support, that kind of knowledge that look, I am going to be the person who is going to fight for my family when this happens. So that's the Mandela I'm trying to raise. Someone who is going to stand and say, we believe in this as a family. My mother and father believed in this. So there is a sense of inclusion. The fact that he's involved into it, he won't mistake the mother later because it's involved. Even when we are going to our site where we are building, I tell him, Mandela, this is your responsibility. We are building today, but we don't know how long we have here. So
Yeah.
you need to be a part of this. If I'm never here, you're the man in charge. Even when I'm leaving home, like today, I leave Mandela with some money. I tell him, if there is any need in this house, please let mommy ask money from you. So he knows that my dad respects this, my dad needs this. So there is that thing, that seamlessness.
Yeah. They start them young.
Mhm.
That's a thing that
Yeah,
growing up in well in my years, the thing about growing up is like you never asked why to an African parent. You
hmm,
didn't have a chance to like be inquisitive. They always wanted you to not mingle with older people or elder people, the elder, because and when you look at the difference between that and here, kids are actually told to ask why, because when you're young,
yeah,
that's when you pick up faster, you learn faster, and you get a chance to, you use your mind. Because when you're growing up, your mind is going. And I feel like in the African society, they don't use that chance to.
actually, I keep asking, I keep telling my son to always ask why, why, why. Ask why 4 times. Why are we doing this? Why are we heading that side? Why do we need to do this? Like he keeps asking. At times the teachers tell me it's irritating, but that's my son. That's he is his
Yeah,
father's son.
yeah.
It's a way to go.
All right. So moving on, my other question is, because you have so many roles that you play, you're an anchor, you're an MC. Um,
Hmm.
how have you been able to re-innovate yourself each time? You're like, you know what, I've achieved my goal now. What next? What can I do? What's on my list of goals to achieve? How can I make myself a better person? How can I be this person I want to be next?
Well, the first thing I do, I go back to my vision board. I have a vision board that guides me on what exactly I need to do, how I do it, when I'm going to do it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. What I need to do, how I'm going to do it, with whom am I executing this with? As I'm growing up, I keep evolving, but I evolve with the time. It's part of my everyday execution to realign my dreams and visions and see how best can I become a better person.
Yeah.
So complacency doesn't reside where I reside. I'm never comfortable. I'll do something, and if I feel bored, and how does it get bored? The moment I feel that it's a routine in my daily do, I'm bored. I move.
Mhm.
Yes.
And how have you gotten comfortable doing that? Because it's a scary thing, knowing that you're not, whatever you've been doing is not hitting that spot of like excitement. How is like how
Mm.
have you gotten to that point where you're comfortable with innovating and become a different person or changing who you are?
Well, I have a very honest conversation with me. When you have a honest conversation with you, you know your flow, you know your strength. You say, I've always procrastinated about this. I don't move on this. I don't shift gears when it gets to here. So you must have a honest conversation with you. Every after 6 months, have a honest conversation with you. There are resolutions you had earlier you had earlier said you're going to do I think 5 years ago, or when the year was just starting. Today you've not, run after them. Why? Ask yourself why, and have a honest conversation about it. Say, this is it. I'm not doing this because I am weak here, I procrastinate, I change a lot. Be honest with yourself. This honest conversation with you will be in position to realign you with the real thing that's happening.
Um, you were talking about Romans before, and most Romans love living behind a legacy. And for my question to you is, what do you want to be remembered for? Like, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
I want to be remembered as the man who stood tall and defended Omuntuawansi, but not only that, someone who gave them the reason to believe in themselves beyond measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the legacy I want to leave.
That's the legacy you want to leave. So for this edition for it's success versus greatness. What does success and greatness mean to you separately?
Well, success to me means giving people reason to move in the right direction. That's one. And the greatness is being in position to consolidate that success, that it can have a skill factor on people heavily, but that is impactful, positive, impactful impact on them. If we can have that, you're great. But you can't say you're great when the success only stopped at you. It wasn't something that spilled over to as many people as you want, but it stopped at you.
Yeah.
That's not success to me. Success means, can it be scaled up? Can it go to other people? Can it impact their life? If we can achieve that greed, then you're great.
Um, to add on to that, I feel like when you live in two different continents, like you've been to the UK, you've been different places, you learn and notice so many things. So for me, what I've realized is that here, parents start their children from the start, as soon as they're out of the belly, they start
Mm,
educating them on different things. So
mm,
you'll find a kid that is like 13 and they know about finances, they know about all this, and yet in Uganda, a 13-year-old child is thinking about going to play soccer, which is not bad, but that's all they know, and that's all they have from school to sports,
mm,
school to sport,
mm.
nothing in between there. I feel like we have a long way to go because we have so much potential. We have so much potential, but I feel like we don't
Mm.
use it because we have this thing of like you said, is success is leaving a name behind and leaving something for your family behind. Hello?
Uh, oh my
Okay.
God.
Can you
Probably
hear
have
me?
to. Okay, can you see me now? Oh God,
Yes, we can see you.
it's crazy here. I'm trying to finalize. We have like
Yeah.
4 minutes. Yeah. All right. This is what I would tell you when it gets to parenting.
Yeah.
Parents need to be intentional. If you're not intentional, we have issues here now. But once you are intentional as a parent and you say this is what we're going to live for, me, I want my son to be far better than I am. I want my kids to be better than us. So that means whatever we do, how we do it, where they go, what they do, who who they meet, who they talk to. Mentorship is a key thing to me. And I would love my kids to be mentored, but this starts from the bottom. So it starts with me, and then it can spill over to the others. So I think we just need to change the gears as parents in Africa, just to make sure that we have the right conversation with our children. We give them the confidence to ask us the hard questions that we fear, but not only that, to equally give them, a reason to live. Some of them just live by default. They don't have a mantra they run it by. They don't. It's totally hope. I think that is something we need to change. That's my school of thought, subject to discussion from, and depending on the continent where you are from.
What was the greatest advice that was given to you?
Be me. My mother told me always.
That is a great advice, because we try, when we see other people doing something, or we people we look up to, we try to be like those people, forgetting that you can be yourself and still be great as that person. So that's and what advice do you give to the youth, especially those in Uganda, all over the world, that are trying to achieve their goals, but with everything going on, all the obstacles they're facing, what advice do you give them?
Well, I'll be very blunt here. One, we should stop to feel self-entitled. We're in a generation where we feel we're so entitled. Everything has to come to us. We feel we must be given. We must be given attention. We're crybabies, this generation. I think that needs to change. We need to take up full responsibility of what we need to do. That's one. And then two, we cannot achieve just as independent islands. We need to find partnerships. We need to find circles, fellowships that are going to, bring out the strength we have inside of us. And we should challenge ourselves beyond borders. Because we're in Uganda, you cannot say you can't impact someone in Malaysia or in Kuala Lumpur or in Timbuktu. No, you can reach out. Let's use the digital platforms to tap into the opportunities that are global. And we can scale them up back to our country, back to the different regions where we come from, and we can change. But the biggest thing, we must stop feeling so important, and we must stop. We must earn everything. We must earn everything.
Yeah, I've realized that I feel like our generation wants to give the excuse of, oh, when I go to apply for a job, they don't give me the job because you have to know someone to get to that job, which is true sometimes, but there's ways you can go around that and do something. I feel like we have so many excuses, and we need to make so many excuses and just get things done, because back in the day, our parents had so many obstacles and they still achieved what they wanted to achieve because they had no choice. But I feel like because we have so many opportunities or choices of like, I'm just going to stay home and do nothing, or I'm going to make this excuse of, oh, I went, but because I didn't know the person at the top, I didn't get the job. And yet that may be telling you to like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be changing your course and do something else. But then we just keep piling excuses of like, oh, this is why, this is this, and this is this.
You should take charge, you should man up, and you say, this is it. But again, to the men out there who are watching this and your youth, find a way, protect a woman next to you, because that's the support structure you need. The moment you try to break it, you're breaking yourself in the future. That's simple.
So to everyone, we've had a chance to be with Kyamagero for only an hour because of everything going on and him being busy at the moment, being in the media. We had to do only an hour, and we have 4 minutes to go. I'm not sure if any of you has a question that he can answer real quick before he can go. For anyone that has questions, Patricia.
Hi, Andrew. Oh my God, thank you so much. I don't think you understand how amazing this is, the opportunity you've given us to share.
I go get mine.
A real deal. I honestly, for me, because I have a few minutes, the one question that I have for you, you said something so powerful a minute ago, where you said to young men, they should protect the women around them because that's the support structure that is, that is waiting to be there for them. What advice would you give the girl that is not ready for, because right now the world is shaping this powerful woman that is standing at the cusp of greatness and needs a partner. So what advice are you giving that girl going forward?
Well, first thing first, you must do due diligence around the people you're going to get married to. This is until death do you part. No one wants to subscribe and they go for divorce in one or the other. So you must find someone who just attracts taste. You're not going to work so hard and achieve so much, and someone comes from I don't know where, and they come because they're handsome, they have six packs, because they work in a bank, they have this. That's trash. You must find someone who has values that you respect so much, but not only that, someone who is going to become your support structure, someone who is going to stand with you, even when no one seems to actually stand with you. Let me bring it closer, summarize it all. Don't find someone you love. Find someone who understands you, because once they understand you, love, tenderness, and care, they will all be subsidiaries to all that. So if you can't find someone who understands you and what your life you live for, they could look handsome, they could be well educated and from good families, but all that is vanity, because when you grow old, all you need is someone who understands you. That's what you said.
I'll tell you one thing, your daughter is a very lucky girl. She's about to enjoy an amazing father. So here's the last question, and you're going to wrap us up with this.
There was a question I saw that came in from Nalvega Pauline.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let me check and see what question.
How do I empower the women?
Yeah. No, you can go on. You can answer it.
Doreen, go. What was
No,
it?
you can answer it because you saw it says she said, how do you empower women in your life?
Well, every woman who works with me, one, who stays around me, and who plugs into me, I remind them that they are beautifully and wonderfully made. And I cannot be if they're not around. So it's my job to empower them. I remind them of how strong they are, what energies they have that just need to be reignited. I always challenge them to reach down to their innermost strength and bring out that strong woman they have. So the women around me on a daily basis, I want to see them thrive and become better than I am.
Thank you so much, Kyamagero. I don't call you Andrew anymore because we're into the whole Pan-African thing. So
Suvi.
Yes, I'm very proud of my name, by the way, Suvi. So yes, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to tap into your life and advice you've given us. I'm like, you understand, you can ask Patricia, when I found out who you are, I was so excited. I was like, yes, I'm interviewing. So I'm so glad it was me and honored that interviewed you, because you're a great person. Everything that you work for, everything that you do, I love that it's based on how it's going to affect people in a positive way, because that's my dream too, working in international development, being able to make an impact on people's lives and make it better. So I'm glad that it was me that had the chance to host you today. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you so much, and thanks to all those that have been watching from here to the far ends of the world. Whatever you've had here today, I want you to do a reality therapy. You as an individual, ask yourself, what's your why? What's your why? Why should you help people? Why should you inspire people? Why should you plug into people and become the greatest they want to be? What's your why? When you answer that, where did you go? Have a lovely afternoon.
You too. Have a great day.
Good day.
Bye. Hello. Thank you for everyone that was able to attend today. I'm very grateful and happy that you were able to join us. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed the interview and enjoyed the advice and conversation we had with Kyamagero Andrew. And I'm sorry that we had to cut it short, but with everything going on in Uganda, work holds, and at least we had a chance to be able to talk to him.
Yeah, oh my God, Doreen, great interview. I couldn't stop saying amazing things about it. The rest of the team is on here somewhere. I want to do quick introductions so everyone knows the team that works at Engage, Expand, Empower. Doreen, you hosted, so you go first.
Hello. So, as you know, my name is Doreen Suvi, and I'm the head strategies of engage, inspire, and empower. So what I do is just, come up with ideas of how to make the program better, innovate it, reinnovate it in every way that it achieves its mission and its goals, because that's the sole purpose of the organization, just being able to achieve and reach their goals and be able to reach out to everyone and impact people's lives, because it only takes something small, just one person, to be able to change someone's life for the better. And it doesn't matter what you do. It could be something as small as just saying sorry, or as small as saying, I got you if you need anything, it could change someone's life just like that. So yeah.
Okay, Pauline, Francis, I know you're both on this call. Introduce yourselves, please.
Good morning. This is Pauline Naluvega, head of logistics. Yes, connecting things from point A to B, making sure that all our events or our activities are connected, and trying to get definitely. I mean, like, logistics is a big word, but it's just trying to get the way I can bring it to simple terms. It's like a UPS getting one box from one point to another. And that is what I do for the Engage, Inspire, and Empower. And I'm honored to be part of this team, because the vision is to help another person to find themselves, or to find resources, or to better themselves. And that's why I'm so proud to be part of this team.
Francis. And this is probably
Yeah, hi there. Doreen, wonderful interview. So happy for you.
Thank
You
you.
did
Oh
a
yeah,
good
I
job.
forgot Doreen. That was great.
Yeah. All jokes aside, I think it's been the best interview I've seen on Engage. Yeah. I think you and the person who were you and Andrew were so in sync. I felt like it was, didn't feel like an interview. It was like a personal
Thank you.
conversation. I think you handled it well. You had really good questions. It had
I guess
structure to it.
I'm gonna reinvent myself and become a host.
Yeah, you could do that easy, and yeah, I forgot what we're doing. Oh, we're introducing ourselves. Okay, so I'm Francis Mumba, head of communications for Engage, Inspire, Empower. So I'm not going to say I do only communications, because I do a bit of everything. So, how Andrew was saying, is I'm the utility guy for this team. I do a bit of everything, but of course, communications is big for me, because that's what I went to school for. So, I'll always help out with social media, putting together, presentations, doing press releases, all that stuff, editing, writing, it's stuff that I love to do. So that's what I do for the organization, and getting the word out to people. Like, I know I didn't tell Patricia, but yesterday I was talking to Roy and Goddard, and they were really excited to hear about Engage, and they want to reach out to us and send us some people to help out. So I guess, yeah, awareness is another big thing that we've been doing, and I feel like we can do better. But with COVID times, it's kind of hard to reach people face to face. So we have to find, I guess, a better way to reach out to those masses that are out there that might need us, but are not really in the vicinity. But yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what that's a little bit of most of what I do. Yeah. And yeah.
For those that are just joining us, thank you for joining us. But the interview had to end early, an hour early, because Andrew Kyamagero is media person, so he had to go cover what's going on right now. But we're going to be sharing the video on Facebook, on the Facebook page of Engage, Inspire, and Empower. So you can always, how soon is that going to be? But you can always get there and
2 hours of video.
watch it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you can always get there and go to the page and watch the video. It was a very, very exciting and very educative video. I mean interview. So I hope you actually go to the page and watch it. Lorna, I'm talking to you.
So interesting because my team always wants to introduce themselves and forget that like I'm here, and I'm like, really, team, really?
Oh yeah, and then there's Patricia.
Anyway, so hi everyone. My name is Patricia Mumba. I am the proud founder, leader. I don't know. There's so many titles I take of Engage, Inspire, and Empower. I'm so grateful for my team. I have an amazing team that I love so much. We do so much amazing work, but I wouldn't be able to be the person that I am, or this organization would not be what it is if it wasn't for the amazing team that I surround myself with. What does Engage, Inspire, and Empower do? As all of my team said, and I continue to say, we support immigrants that transition to the American education system and workforce. So if, as Kyamagero said, like if you're looking for purpose, you're looking for what's the next step, and you're in a new community called America, we're more than happy to give you resources, support system, social capital that will get you to where you want to be. But you have to actively seek for that. And if you're looking for that, you would have to email us and find us. Doreen, I cannot believe you were able to do this interview. I'm so proud. I think one of the greatest moments for me this
5 a.m.
5 a.m., that is true. The proudest moment for me as a leader has always been watching everyone else on my team do interviews, because I feel like they've watched me so many times and finally they're seeing that 2 hours is a very long time. Talking to a person you've never met in person is very vulnerable and very scary, but I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you did this. I can't wait to publish this video. It's gonna be exciting. For everyone that was on this call, send us feedback, email us, let us know what you thought. And I will be announcing the next speaker, who will be hosted by the wonderful Pauline Naluvega next Sunday. I will be posting them on Instagram in about the next 2 hours. Right about when Kyamagero's video comes out, I will be posting that video.
Also, so with this, some of my friends that logged onto this, they're already giving me ideas of who else we can reach out to, some big people in Uganda. So this is a good thing that we are doing this, because we could get to showcase a lot of people that can be very helpful to others.
100%. So I'm going to stop recording in a minute, because that's all going to go into Kyamagero's video. And then whoever wants to hang out, check out, say hi. I mean, it's 6 in the morning. We want to say hi anyway. So just give me 2 seconds.